What's up, everybody? I still haven't set up that studio. I think it's just going to be an ongoing thing where I talk about setting up an actual studio in my house and I never do it. Maybe that's the ongoing joke of this entire weekly show. And that's what I want to talk about today is what is this weekly show that I'm doing? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Zachary Thayer. I'm a storyteller based out of Illinois. And the mission of my life, as far as I have figured out right now, is I'm a storyteller who helps people with their stories. And so I tell stories through social media. My full-time job is that I'm the creative arts coordinator for the Illinois District Council of the Assemblies of God. That's a really long organization name. But I create social media content for them. I do daily posts, I do quote graphics, I do highlight videos, I do promo videos, I do podcasts for them. And it's this brand new position that I'm the very first person that's ever filled this role for this organization. And so I'm still figuring out, the team as a whole is figuring it out. But right now my main task is creating social media content for their account, for the Teen Challenge Illinois account, and occasionally stuff for Illinois Student Ministries, which all those different names, for those of you who aren't in our circle, they're all organizations under this umbrella that is Team Illinois. So that's my full-time job. And then on the side, I do wedding films, and I'm not really doing much wedding filmmaking right now. It's the slow season. Like if I was a full-time wedding filmmaker, I would be in a world of hurt right now. I would have to be pulling out of savings and trying to grow my business or trying to find other freelance opportunities because as far as I know, not a whole lot of people get married in February and January. And then the third aspect of this storytelling, helping people with their stories, life that I'm trying to create for myself, is my personal projects. And this is an area that has not taken priority. For those of you who have been watching or listening to this weekly show, I have been processing a lot lately. The past 2 or 3 shows have been more just me venting and dumping out some emotional baggage that I've been holding on to for a while. And while I love being vulnerable, I think that's a skill and a strength that I have. I don't want this show to become my weekly counseling session. I want it to be something that provides value to you guys. The biggest thing has been figuring out, what do I want this show to be? What do I want any of my personal content to be? Because I know what I want the content for my full-time job to be. I have, it's been a learning process, like I said, but I have pretty much figured out the direction that I'm taking the stories that I'm telling for my full-time job. I know where those are going, but it's been a journey, and it's been, when I say a journey, there's some journeys that you take where you know exactly where you're starting, you know where you're ending, and you know the places that you're going to touch on your way from A to B. With some wiggle room and figuring out to do, that's where I'm at when it comes to wedding filmmaking. That's where I'm at when it comes to my job as the creative arts coordinator for the Illinois Assemblies of God. But when it comes to my personal brand, my stories that I tell just for fun, it's less been a exact journey from A to B. It's I know where I'm starting, and I don't really know where I'm going. Because I don't want to be a full-time social media influencer. There's some people where that's their dream, is to be a full-time Instagrammer or a full-time YouTuber. I think it's funny, when I was a kid, preschool, every single preschooler kindergartner, elementary school kid back in the day, if you were to ask them what they wanted to be when they grew up, the boys would be like, I want to be a fireman. I want to be in the army. I want to be a police officer. They want to do all these cool jobs, or an astronaut or whatever. If you ask a kid what they want to be today, they all want to say YouTuber because those are their heroes. And to be fair, there were kids my age, like, we would want to be entertainment people too. I shouldn't discount that. Like, when I was a kid, kids would also want to be a rock star or a movie star or a TV star. But now, being a YouTuber is the stereotypical dream job right now. And while I enjoy creating videos and YouTube is the biggest platform for that, I don't see myself ever being a full-time YouTuber, but who knows what my life has for me. This is an area of my life that's just for fun. And I know I want to do it, and I know I want to create a following and create as good of content that I can for my Instagram and for YouTube and for this podcast. It's just figuring out, what is this? And so this past weekend, I took a little bit of time to figure that out. I took 2 days to rest and to brainstorm. The way I rested was I slept in and I watched movies just for fun. Like, I haven't been able to just watch a movie in a long time. So I watched a documentary called Undefeated. Pretty good. I don't know if I would watch it again, but Undefeated, a documentary like that, I would love to make something like that. If you have Netflix, check it out. And I also watched Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 for the very first time. Terminator 1's on Netflix. I wanted to watch the second one because I've heard the second one's the only other good one. And it wasn't on Netflix. I was like, well, crap, what do I do now? And then I remembered that my mom has Amazon Prime as well. So we checked that, and turns out Terminator 2 was included in Prime. So that's why you should have both, because if one doesn't have it, the other one probably has it. And then I just took some time to brainstorm and come up with a list of ideas of content I wanted to create for myself, stories I wanted to tell for my job, and just general things that I want to do with my life overall. I have this ongoing Word document on my Mac right now called Ideas. And it's just divvied up into different categories of just random ideas I have for all those different areas. And so I don't know exactly where I'm going to end up. I don't know if I'll ever be a full-time influencer, if this will just be a side thing. I mean, I'm not making any money right now. I don't have a significant following, but who knows, maybe it might become another stream of income or something to fall back on if anything were to happen in my life. But I want this weekly show's priority. This weekly show that I'm doing for YouTube. This weekly show that I also just send the audio out through Anchor and throw it on the podcast. This is the documentation of my life story. Let's say I do this every single week for the rest of my life. However long that might be. Let's say I died tragically when I'm young. I hope that doesn't happen, but people would be able to watch this show and see, this is what Zach did with his life, and this is the person that he was. I want this to be a longer form, 10 minutes every week expression of myself, just kind of going through whatever's going on in my life right now. And then my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts are pretty much the same thing. Some people would say that you shouldn't treat your social media like that, but right now I'm a one-man army operating multiple social media accounts, so give me a break. But I treat my Instagram and my Facebook, Twitter, all those things, I try to throw at least one post a day on those. And that is both kind of a behind the scenes of, it's either the posts that I throw on there are either behind the scenes of the story that I'm telling right now, or they are stories in of themselves. I kind of almost treat it like a blog. That's blog with a B, B-O-L-G. And so it's either behind the scenes or it's me telling a story through words and a picture. So Instagram, those kind of quick social medias, those are for behind the scenes posts of stories that I'm telling and working on. Their personal looks into my life, or it's me telling a story through written word and a picture that goes along with it. And then this weekly show is a once a week longer story of me working on my public speaking skills, talking to the camera, talking to the microphone, and telling the story of what's going on in my life right now. It's the documentation of my life journey. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going to end up, whether I'll be a full-time social media, personal brand influencer who gives a crap person, or it's just something that I do on the side just for fun, and maybe I'll never make money on it one day, but I want to do this because it's fun and because people have affirmed this in my life, that God's using me through social media to affect their life. I threw a blog post up on Monday talking about this whole idea of rest and why it's necessary, and it didn't go viral, it wasn't huge, but the comments that people left on it showed that what I am doing matters and it's helping people in their life stories. And so that's what keeps me going. That's why I'm going to keep creating content like this. Anyways, it's like 6:30, 6:15, something like that on a Wednesday morning. I got stuff that I need to do. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys listening. I would love your guys' help in this journey as I'm creating short form content for my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and this longer form content for the YouTube channel and podcast. If you guys could tell me or give me ideas of what topics I should address or questions you would like answered about my life, I would love your help in that. But as for right now, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for everything, for being a part of my life. We'll see you next week.